am so excited because I've got a good drink tonight. I got a good
I'm
drink.
excited to learn about your good drink tonight.
Yeah, I have
Hello,
this.
my friend.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Saturday night, 10:13 on the East Coast, 8:13 Mountain Time, and we're having some beers. We're talking golf, and some funny stuff, right?
The only thing better than recording on Friday night is recording on Saturday night.
It's the next best thing.
It's the next best thing. Friday night's my favorite. Saturday night is my second favorite. So, how was your week?
Miserable. Not miserable, but actually, we'll get into that in the golf story. We'll give you my
got some
story.
stuff to talk
Yeah,
about.
we got some stuff in the golf story, but we got to wind down a little bit because the end of the week, and so what do? We talk about
Go behind the bar.
Yeah, what do we got in the glass? So I'm really
You want me
excited.
to go first, or do you want to go first? Because
I'll go first.
Story.
I mean,
Okay.
I don't have a long story. I guess it is. So we have this little market down. It's called Hershey Market. Actually, it's called
Okay.
Fresh Market, and it's a place where like all these vendors come and serve food. But there was this place where they serve. There was a microbrew there, and I never really went there because usually I'm driving my kids, and I just don't like to have a beer and drive my kids. So
Right.
they didn't.
Fair.
There was some rule, or in Pennsylvania is the worst with alcohol. You couldn't do takeout. You had to consume what they had there. Well, I
Yep.
went there the other day and they said, now we can do takeout. So they figured it out.
Thanks,
So,
COVID.
yeah, I don't know if it was COVID. It's probably weird Pennsylvania or something to do with the lease in the building. I don't know.
Us, it was COVID. Before COVID, you had to finish it there. During
Oh,
COVID,
really?
it was like take it out and all that stuff stayed.
Yeah. Or maybe it might have been that they only had taps there. And so this is a small brewery. And well, anyway, and they're like, hey, we can do takeout now. So I grabbed a 4-pack of it's Evergreen Brewing Company, and this is really good. And I even went out to the website. It's called Fletch.
I like it.
And it is a West Coast IPA. I think it's great. And as a matter of fact, it's going to be something I might try to get to the brewery there and see if I can get a keg of it for the guys when they come over. But it's really light colored. Can's pretty cool. And I know they're a small brewery because this can is a sticker.
You got a guy in the back
Yes.
His mom is in the back putting stickers on the can.
Yes.
The owner's in his mom's basement.
It's funny because I don't know if you could see it. It's it's a glare on there. It's even crooked. You can see that didn't even line up correctly.
Yeah, he's down in his basement next to Eagles. Eagles and I were joking. I did the interview with him for Meet the Designers, and he was like, he brought it up. He was like, I got out of my grandma's basement and got some better gear. So we were joking about that. So
shots fired, right? We've been back and forth.
No shots fired.
No, in a funny way. Yeah, no, it's kind of like it's volleys going back and forth.
See, if it were me, I would have put that picture up there, and I know it's Fletch, and I guess it has something to do with like archery. I know nothing about archery, but it's fletching and archery seems to go together.
I don't know. I always think Fletch is in Chevy Chase.
I was going to say you should put Chevy Chase's face on top of that.
Well, that's why I was I was kind of wondering, like Fletch, maybe like for a trademark or copyright, you can't use likenesses of somebody, so they couldn't put in.
No, I think fletching is actually like making arrows. I think it's actually called like. Yeah, I think there's not like fletching or that, which this is why I think the archery is in there. But I'm not an
maybe
archer,
one of our educated viewers, listeners, will let us know what fletching is.
I'm barely a golfer, let alone an archer. So
I'd be even willing to bet there's something in the Urban Dictionary that fletching is some type of sexual act too. Just saying.
I think we have a new segment coming up. We'll just pull up the Urban Dictionary. Let's take golf terms and the Urban Dictionary and put them together.
Throwback when Rusty Dave, remember the rusty trombone?
Oh, we need a greatest hits episode. We pull the rusty trombone back out.
Yes. Well, we talked about doing an end of year thing, right? End of year show with
that might have to make a reappearance. Yeah. I'm glad I've actually I've etched the Fletch in my brain.
Etch a Fletch.
I guarantee they don't. I guarantee they don't have it here. I've got Etch a Fletch. I'm not doing anything as fancy as
Sounds
that.
like something that could be cured with an antibiotic, by the way, that's a fletch.
Or a rusty trombone.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so what are you drinking? I'm sorry, I'm just cracking up here.
I'm so I can't even get it straight now. Right? Just etchafletching. I don't.
There's beer coming out my nose. Oh, Fletch is not good out the nostrils, man.
We need instead of an MPOW, we need an etchafletch for courses that just suck.
Yeah, that's a
Like
Fletch.
this course is horrible.
It's our equivalent of the rotten tomato.
Exactly.
The Etchafletch.
I am continuing to power down the Mitchers bottle from last week that we bought. Because as I
it's good. I had a glass last night.
It is really good. I made the mistake of breaking into jail, which I always warn everybody around me not to do, and I don't listen to my own advice, which is I had made an offhand comment to my wife about I need to swing by the store and pick up a bottle. And she informed me that in case I wasn't aware, there are 20-something bottles of bourbon, which then I promptly started singing 20 bottles of bourbon on the wall, 20 bottles.
That didn't go over well either.
So I am continuing to drink the drink from last week.
I think we need to start talking about a date where I come out and help you drink a couple of those bottles.
I agree. I think that would be fun and a little golf. Although we're gonna run on a golf season pretty quick here. So
no, I think let's look at some dates maybe. I think for the spring. It's really tough for me with my daughter in field hockey. It keeps me very busy until the end of November. So
Yep. So we'll look at springtime. Hell, maybe we can convince a couple of folks to. I mean, Run Putt Run's not far from here. He's a couple of hours.
And we should definitely do it like when we know we're gonna have good weather. It's not taking any chances, but if we do a date far enough in advance, it makes it easier for me to book my schedule and all this stuff. Cool. So moving on to
our
golf
stories.
Story. Yeah. So my story of the week was I had a little mishap with my sim computer.
Yeah, I heard.
So I was
fired around the world.
Yeah. So I have a really nice computer. I didn't go out and just buy the cheapest one that everyone tends to do, right? I actually went out and got a company that had a nice tempered glass case, lots of room, 1,000-watt gold power supply so that I can, get a new GPU when I need to. Well,
and you put a 1060 in it and said, "How come I can't run 4K?"
Yes, exactly. Yeah. and 4 gig of RAM.
4 gig of RAM.
Yeah.
And did you go to a Facebook group and complain that your 4K is not running well?
It's laggy. Yeah. I noticed when I was playing it, I looked over and I saw a little dust on the glass. I looked inside. I was like, oh, this really needs cleaned out. So I disconnected it, brought it upstairs. It was really smart. We had a nice big workspace on the kitchen counter, and took the glass off. And when I was taking the one side off, it didn't even drop it. I just kind of came down and hit the marble, and the tempered glass just
corner and
shattered into a bazillion pieces. Not only shattered, but practically exploded. Tempered glass.
That safety glass, man. That safety tempered glass breaks.
Oh my gosh!
It just blows up.
Every piece was the size of a BB, and then even when it's done,
Did it get into your PC at all, or was it
a little bit?
PC?
I was able to get it all. The bottom line, I was able to clean it. It was really easy to clean up, but just so much of it. And then, even after it breaks, you can hear it continue to crumble as it's sitting there, clicking, and you're like, oh my gosh. So the bottom line is, I couldn't get it replaced because it's a 1.5 years old. It's after warranty. The people that make the case only sell the cases to the distributors. They don't. So I have to get. I'm making a glass side for it out of acrylic.
Blowing glass? Are you going?
No, it's going to be acrylic. I'll just use acrylic and cut it.
I want a video of you with the glass blower. You're blowing into it. You're making
glass. That technique. It's called etchafletch.
It's called etchafletch. I want you to use the etchafletch and make yourself a new side. Well, I'm sorry that happened, but I'm glad. And listen, I can't tell you the last time I've had the side on my PC. I've had the side off forever just because of heat. Just
really?
Just let it go. I never put the side on.
I don't know.
The glass side for mine comes all the way off.
Sometimes I feel well, first of all, with the glass off of it, it's really loud.
It's louder, sure,
Because
a little
there's
bit.
one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine fans in that thing. It's air, it's liquid cooled.
Yep, yep.
Um, so with that off, like we're playing, and you like if you're in there golfing, you can't hear what the guys are saying outside the room, and
Well,
then
that's loud.
and also I also like you got to be careful because that doesn't necessarily make better airflow because the airflow doesn't necessarily go over the components; it goes out the door. So you got to be careful.
No, yeah, agreed. But it's also like it. I've had issues with now. I built mine, and I've had issues with when I have the case on, even with all the fans working, getting it too hot. It doesn't. I haven't
Okay.
gotten to the point where it shuts itself down, but it gets too hot. I pull the side off. It's a little bit louder only when all the fans kick in,
Yeah.
and that's really only happening in Blender or or for some strange reason when I change the settings of the images in Unity. When I go into Unity, when you drop them into your train back up, and then you go and you to the setting for the picture, and you change it to the 48 to 4192. When I hit it and hit update, all the fans on the PC come on for about 8 seconds. It's like a furnace going,
Yeah. It's like a
and
it's a jet airplane. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then it shuts down, and then I do the next one, and it goes again. Um, so I have just small golf story, nothing big. I played a bunch this week. This is a great week for me. We've got about more weeks of just beautiful 70-degree weather right now, and so I'm trying to maximize my golf before we head into the cooler winter season. But I had 3 rounds, good rounds. One round in the upper 70s, one round in the low 80s, and one round I'm just not going to talk about. I'm not sure I
It's
showed
funny how
up.
you're playing in like here, like full blown fall has just like hit us like a truck. Like today
Oh, really?
it was blustery and like 50 degrees. Now I'm supposed to be golfing tomorrow, but it's only going to be 55. I'll probably have to wear my winter golf gloves. So
Yeah, I think we're 76 tomorrow and 71 the next day. We have a couple days next week. They're going to be in the like low
yeah.
60s or mid 60s, and we got a few more weeks of this left. But no, my golf story is actually around development. I was talking about this a little bit in pre-show. GS Pro, I was building a course, and I have a routine. We all do, but one of my routines is always to once I get everything into um, Unity. I use the ruler to check some yardages around inside of Unity and make
Yeah.
sure it looks good.
Yep.
And then sometimes I'll even build it without just the train. Just build the train and then load it in Greenskeeper and drop a couple pins down and a couple tees down and just make sure that goes. I didn't do that this time. Everything went so smoothly. I mean, the LiDAR, everything that I did went so smoothly. Like doing. Like 30 minutes later, my LiDAR is done. I drop it into Unity. Oh, this looks great. So I spline the course, and for me, I got it through the meshing process on like the third try. It was like, sweet, this is going great. Drop everything into Unity, and I'm planting. I'm working on my satellite imagery and sat shader and planting some vegetation down and picking all my trees and blah blah blah, doing all that. And then I'm like, yeah, this looks pretty good. First pass, I got a lot to do, but let's build it out and take a look. Drop it in a greenskeeper. First hole is 60 yards short. And I'm
Ouch.
like, oh, must have missed a tee box somewhere. I'll figure that later. Second hole, 48 yards short.
Oh no.
It's a mountain course with lots of trees. I must have missed another. Uh-uh. I dropped the pins and I dropped the tees and the pins on the front nine and compared it against the scorecard. Compared that scorecard against Blue Tees Golf. You know what I mean? Because to triple checked everything because sometimes scorecards lie. And on the front nine, I was 600 yards short.
So you're talking like 20%.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so I go back into QGIS and just for grins decide to re-raster out
Yeah.
to the inner, drop it as a V1, left the original, did it as a V1, exported the raw file, converted the raw file, brought it into Unity, did all that, and then all of a sudden the yardages were exact within a yard.
You
But
should be able to adapt your Inkscape
I
though.
couldn't. I tried and tried and tried because I don't know the difference. I tried to manually extend it. I did every which way. I followed
Uh,
John's tutorial on how to expand. I just didn't know
yeah.
what numbers to use. I was guessing on what numbers to use. And I had already adjusted. I adjusted the satellite imagery of the
Did you
hillshade was off a
spline the
little bit.
whole thing?
Respline the whole course a second time.
So, but okay, so wow,
Yeah,
yeah,
so I had to redo the whole thing, and so I'm back up, going through Blender right now, getting meshed out right now. I'm fixing some errors, but a couple of days setback. But I'm sure I'm not the first one it's happened to. But note to self: as soon as you drop in Unity, check your yardages.
yeah.
You could save yourself a lot of time.
So some news on my front is I hit some whole balls on Kapalua today.
I saw some
Yeah, yeah,
pictures.
I hit balls in Kapalua. Now I don't have any trees. It's all grass is done at this point.
My kind of course.
Yeah. Now,
No trees.
no trees. There will be trees. There aren't many trees right on that course though. It's like
No,
everything's pretty far off.
very few trees on that course. Like I said, I
Bushes,
know
lots of like bushy stuff.
lots of bushes. Everything's off to the edges though.
Yeah,
Everything's on the
yeah.
edges.
Now my yardages were I ended up the card plays 74, but I put some ball tees back at the tips and it ended up being
Yeah,
76.
yeah, I believe it. I
So
believe it. But did you play the first hole?
yes, I did.
That first hole of Kapalua, in real life, I think I hit like a 4 hybrid off the tee because it's
Yeah.
downhill, goes to the left, and it will roll
I think it
forever. And
drops 39 yards on that first hole,
yeah,
but it
it's a
goes
pretty big.
down then back up. So that
Goes
first
down,
drop
then it goes
is
back
probably
up.
yeah,
Yep.
that gully is down maybe a good 50, 60 yards. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
exactly. Then you
18
go
is
back up
pretty
to the
pretty extreme too.
18's all the way down to that green. So
Yep.
yep. Anyway, that was golf story. Nothing fancy, but I guess we live, we learn.
Yep. So
So
what do
we
we
have
do now?
courses.
Yeah, we've got. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh no,
There
we got
was
to talk
some
about
other
this real
news,
quick. There was some news.
which is BLP. Basically, Foresight is people aren't going to be very happy with Foresight Sports.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of like want to go, yay, integration. And then I read the email. I'm kind of like, yeah, yay. I
Yeah, I
think.
mean, yeah.
I don't know.
I feel I get what they're trying to do, but at the same time, they've kind of let Pandora's box out. Like they've opened Pandora's box, and so many people have got GS Pro. They've got it working. They're happy with the pricing, and all of a sudden you're gonna charge them more for something they already have, and that's a very tough pill to swallow, right?
Well, I
So,
like
oof.
as a former BLP owner, I always assumed
Wait a
they were
minute,
going to
you owned a
require.
BLP too as
I
well?
did. I
Have you?
went Mevo
You're a
Plus.
launch monitor slut.
No, that's Soupy. That's Soupy. Yeah, he's got Soupy's got more launch monitors. I went Mevo Plus to BLP to Unicore to my
Okay,
XL.
all right, all right.
Um,
You're only been married 3 times. Okay,
I was married 3 times, but when I had my BLP, I always ran on the assumption that gold was going to be required for official integration.
okay.
That was always going to be my assumption. I was hoping that be able to do it with the regular basic subscription, the 250 a year, whatever it is a year.
Yeah. So
That was I
how
was
much is
hoping.
gold?
They've changed their. Again, I had it early on. I want to
Yeah.
say at the time it was like 600 a year,
Ooh.
but I think they've restructured that. I don't think it's the same price now. I
You
have to
think
go
it's
look at
more or
it.
less?
I think it's less. I
Okay.
don't know. I'm gonna look. Hold on.
It's more than GS Pro is though, right?
Well, you still have to buy GS Pro.
I know. But guess my point is what's really tough to swallow is to pay a licensing fee that's more than the thing that you want to use costs. You can see what I'm saying? You're going to pay $500 a year so I can use software that costs $250 a year.
Gold is $699 a year.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're paying $250 on top of that for GS Pro.
But you see what I'm saying? Like people, I think, feel like that $250 for GS Pro is a good deal, and now you're making me pay $700 just now with gold. You get other things, right? You get Foresight, like you get FSX
You get
2020.
FX Play Gold subscription. You get 8 players. FX Pro for Gold subscription. I'm looking at what it says. You
But
get
then
10 core. Yeah, you get FX Play. You
you
get
get
10
10 courses. But
courses.
then if you want more courses, you're forking out for
You
those
got to
too,
buy
right?
them all.
Yeah.
But I think it's the same though. Like if you owned a BLP and wanted to play E6, you have to have the gold subscription
Yeah.
and have to pay another 650 or 700 or more at E6 for the
But at
subscription
least
thing.
E6 is like what? Is that $1,000?
E6 is not cheap. I want to say.
No, I remember
No.
like when I graduated, I had a Skytrack. I
Yeah.
graduated to Unicore,
Yeah.
and I had E6 on. E6 charges a different price based on your launch motor.
Yes. Yes, because my Mevo Plus with E6 was free if I want to run it on iPad, but I wanted to run it on my PC, so I had to buy a PC subscription, which had a different. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
I
So
was pissed because I think I had paid $600 for it on my SkyTrack. I went to Unicore. It was $1,200. I had 9 months left on my
left.
1 year, and they wouldn't even
Nope.
credit it towards
They
that.
said too bad. Yep.
Yeah. So I
Yep.
said, "See ya. I'm out."
I did this. I got to the end of my E6 subscription before I signed up another $700 or $800. I wanted to see what was out there, learned about GS Pro, and boom, from there I've never looked back on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think hopefully I don't know. Hopefully the current connection methods will continue to work. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
and
your
for those
guess
that
is
I
as good
know.
as mine. Based on this though, and you can see what it says down here, which is
Oh yeah.
any attempt to run unauthorized software on Launch Pro hardware will be in violation of our user agreement, and the related consequences of this behavior will be communicated accordingly.
Yeah.
So,
It's got some language in it, so I don't know.
yeah, so I'm guessing, my guess, if I'm a guessing man, is that they're going to do some type of encryption, and that if you
That's my
break that
guess.
encryption, they're going to come down on you via the DMCA Act. Or well, I
Yeah,
shouldn't
my
say
guess
DMC,
is
it is
some
the DMC Act,
DMC
Digital
Act.
Millennium Copyright Act. So, which means if you intentionally break encryption, you can be prosecuted, basically.
That's my guess is
They'll give you a warning. They'll give you a
some
warning.
update will come down for
Yep.
it, and if you do the update, you'll get encrypted, and yeah. So
Yeah.
it sucks, but I think it was inevitable at some point.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. All
Now,
right,
I
let's
guess
talk
this
courses.
means that
Oh,
they
sorry.
don't care about the lawsuit.
I guess not. I
Maybe
mean, they're
they
going forward.
maybe they saw the purge of the money and they said, "F it," or
Yeah, yeah.
or maybe this is a good sign that maybe their lawyers looked at the lawsuit and said, "Yeah, this isn't
And
going to
said,
hold."
yeah, I
Who
guess.
knows?
Yeah, I think they're
Yeah.
like, hey, we got an opportunity. You have what they have, arguably the best and probably fastest growing software out there. We should be
Yeah.
part of it.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So
Let's
on
talk courses. That's
to
what we're here
the
for.
show. All right.
We had a bunch this week. We're getting busier.
Yeah. You want to? You built the slide out. You want to do the
Yeah,
course
sure.
introduction this week? Sure.
Of course, of course. So let's start out. Our friend, good friend of the show, good friend, and um, afternoon 2v2 scramble buddy Pac-Man. I
Oh
do.
wait,
I do.
who's? Oh, no, that's Payman.
That's no. Who's Payman?
No, save it. You'll see. It'll be a surprise
Okay.
later. Don't worry.
Pac-Man has two courses out, Lincoln and Columbia.
Save that thought for later. Payman.
Yeah,
Remember that.
okay. Payman, we'll keep that. We
Okay.
got that one. And then Amache,
That
the
Italian guy, Amache.
the Italian guy, Amache, the wilderness at Fortune Bay,
He's our no
out of
man.
Our, Minnesota.
He's the no
He's
man.
our he's a known man. None of these guys are blue. They're already blue. Actually, Pac-Man's gold. I think they're both gold, actually. So so we got Tower, Minnesota, Springfield, Illinois. Now this is kind of a week of mountain courses. We have a bunch of mountain
That's the
courses that
theme
came
this
out this
week.
week.
There's always something going on
Yeah,
every week, and this week is the
yeah.
mountain course week. Yep.
Is the mountain courses. Yeah. So let's go. What else we have? Those are the first three. Diamond Creek Club
Which
over
is
in Banner Elk.
yeah, and that is a autumn based course. So
And I played this one.
in real
When
life,
did I play this one? No, not in real
oh,
life, but we played this in the sim. I can't remember if I played it solo or if I played it with a group. Anyway, really beautiful autumn course out there, which is great. Shadow Mountain. I can never. Is it P Wade? P Wade? P Wade?
P Wade. Probably it's
P
like
Wade?
Paul
Paul
Wade,
Wade. Yeah. Hey,
something like that.
Paul. Hi, Paul. It's Philip. Philip Wade. Philip Wade the
Could be.
third.
Yeah.
I think he's Philip Wade the third. Shadow Mountain, Cranbrook, British Columbia, another mountain course.
Yep.
Really nice elevations on this one.
Big mountain course.
This is
Course.
sanctuary type elevation, especially on
Yep.
that first tee. Pretty darn close to the same drop off.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk a little more about that. And then Jay Jixrod had a couple courses with Amherst and Jasper Park. Amherst is in Amherst, Nova Scotia, out of Canada, and then Jasper, Canada. We played JG and I played Amherst together in the same. It was a lot of fun. And then Bangini and I played Texas Star together, which just got released when it was beta. So he and I played. I think did he and I play? I played. I played it with somebody. I think it was him. And it was fun. It was fun to play in beta. And then I think is that it? 3, 6.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, 6
Now,
courses. 1, 2, 3.
I did. Have you been
6.
following any of the discussion? There was lots of discussion on Discord this week about lots of new LiDAR coming out for Canada. Did you see that?
I have seen that. That's exciting. There was a whole bunch of lidar coming
Yeah.
out for Canada.
The Canucks are like losing their shit, you know?
Yeah. So I mean, we got like 3 mountain courses this week. There'll be a bunch more coming in. So I'm excited to see some of these Canadian courses. I love mountain courses and love Canadian Rockies. So
Yeah.
let's
So,
go through. We got a couple that we chose.
yeah. So who's going to be the must play of the week? Well, our
Texas
first one is congratulations
Star.
to Texas Star.
Bangini, awesome course, dude. This was a really, really great. I mean, I played it in beta, and what came into release was better. I love the beta program because it was good in beta. It was really good in beta. It was even better in release. I don't, you tweak some things here and there, but great course. Good yardage, not super long, 6,400 from the back. So your tips guys are going to be unhappy because it's just not, over 7,000. But good yardage on it, and pretty difficult course. It's got, it's just a good
Yeah.
course. So
It's not
let's
that
go into
long,
it.
but it's in Texas, so it's already pretty big.
Yes, everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So, and there is a creek. The creek, Hurricane Creek, runs throughout the entire course. So you run
That's
across
actually
this. You
called
can see it on the
Hurricane
way.
Creek.
Hurricane Creek.
Wait, is this something that like is famous or
No, go
something?
back. It says it in the description. No, it's Hurricane Creek.
Oh, that's right. We're supposed to read those. That's right.
You're supposed to read those. Actually, Hurricane Creek.
I don't. Oh, there it is. Hurricane Creek. All right, cool.
Creek slashes through. Yep. So,
Mm.
bottom line, first off, you guys know me well enough to know I love a really good first hole, first impression, first hole. This has it. The colors are great. The tree selection is great. His cart path colors are perfect. Custom tee markers. The grasses looked great. Over and all, it was just short of looking like a picture. For me, I just thought, and I remember I'm running this. I play this in Sim 4K on a 16-foot screen. It was just really, really well done, and your choices of everything was great. So custom flag
Oh,
markers,
and
got
that's
the
the Texas
Texas
flag.
flag
That's
represented. Yep.
actually not the pin on the course. That is a flag pole. When you're coming in, because it's Texas, so that is like the guy is like he's only like a third of the height of this pole. Just making
Exactly.
it.
That's the true.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a real huge
Yes,
one.
they actually use. I didn't know if you know this, but in Texas for the the cups down here, those are garbage cans.
They're giant.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That
Yeah.
yeah. Um, Texas Stars can't go wrong with the Texas Star on the on the tee marker. So
Yeah.
but I also thought the texture on that was really well done. I don't know if Bangini did his own blender work or not, or he had somebody do it, but I think the tee markers looked great. All right, so coming up 6, and you can't have a course in Texas without seeing some oil wells. And I went out and looked at some actual pictures of this course in real life, and sure enough, they're there. And the side imagery even confirmed it when you fly up and fly down, and you'll see the next picture. But I think it's I thought it was great. I loved it. I loved having that as the backdrop, and that's what it is in real life. And it could have been super easy to leave out and put some trees back there and kind of hide it, and he didn't. He put it in there, and it's pretty damn authentic. As authentic as what the actual course
Yeah.
looked like.
Now Bangini he's officially a Patreon guy, but he doesn't have any. Does he have courses in his page? He was doing some. Wasn't he doing like what's the deal? Is don't you have to? They changed that
You
so
have to have as many courses in GS Pro
right.
as you have on your patron.
Yeah. Okay. But
I
does he
think is
have
what it
any
is.
behind his Patreon yet?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
But he's got a bunch in game now. So I mean, like I think he can
Yeah.
have. I mean, he's got 10 or 12 courses. I think in game, maybe more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So, and then Clubhouse coming up, 18 Clubhouse, and again, I don't know if you're doing your own blender work. If you are, great. Hopefully, that's DPR's house builder tool. It looks really well done. Love the bridge, and overall looked good. There's this giant channel. You can see it right there with the water in it, right? My initial reaction was like, wow, that thing is really big and deep and everything. But again, I went out and looked in real life, and the picture I found was at the clubhouse looking back. So it's the opposite of what we were just looking at. And sure enough, there is this big channel there with the water in it and the bridge going over it. And I mean, it's really well done. It looks pretty damn
Yeah,
close.
on a
So
hot day in the summer, you just take your inner tube, jump in there. It's actually a
jump
lazy
in there.
river
It's
that
nice,
goes
a
right around
lazy
Hurricane
river.
Park. Yep.
Yep. You get Hurricane Creek, and you get your beer, and you float down the river, and you watch out for the golf balls.
Yep.
Yep. You put this one in.
Yeah, so we always like to give some constructive feedback, right? So
Yep.
one is I would like to know by what miracle that wooden bridge stays up.
The support now, but it's really interesting. I just noticed. I didn't notice this, and I didn't notice this earlier, and I'm leaving you out to dry on that comment. But go back one picture real quick.
Okay.
That's a wooden bridge, but there's no supports in the water.
No, that is a wooden bridge. I bet it's steel on the bottom though.
It might be a steel bridge
There
for
might, I bet
sure.
there's,
Yeah.
and you can see there's an arch to it too.
Yeah,
There's
there is
got
an
to
arch
be
to
like
it.
a steel, like support beam to it.
Yeah.
And of
Yeah,
course, we're
that's fair.
making fun of it. This looks
I know. This
fantastic,
looks great. It looks so good.
But my critique is, I think Hurricane Creek is too blue. It looks
I agree.
this looks like Jamaica's lagoon, right? When I
I
was
feel like I'm in the Caribbean.
yeah. So that was one, and also his water was moving very fast.
Yeah.
I would think that that water is more of like a lazy, I wouldn't say stagnant, but it's probably not moving really fast. My advice to anybody that's working with water is be aware that the foam, which is the white stuff, all right, should move at a different speed than the stuff underneath. Okay.
Yes.
Um,
Slower.
I typically have it move slower, right? Have the
Correct.
stuff
I do
underneath
too.
and have and then the foam. You can also slow the foam down along the sides too. Just
Yep.
play with the settings. You'll see what that is. Now it was funny because I saw this picture, and then as I was flying around, I got up to like one of the parts, like the where the stream begins, and here, this is the color I was more of
It's
expecting to
a great
see.
color.
That's
Yeah.
what I
I
wanted
love
to
that
see down
color.
here. You can see, like, so this was a different, this is probably a different Ram Creek. It ends right here, but then it turns really blue. I would have like, if you pay attention to like a creek when you're out in the wild, they're pretty actually pretty dark.
Yep.
Um, Not murky like brown dark, but like a gray almost.
Yep.
So this is what I would have liked to see on the rest of this. So,
Yep. Agreed.
but great
Agreed.
course, great course.
Yeah, and the only other thing I would say is, again, if we're critiquing, and this is absolutely minor, I would have loved to have seen the wall of that white wall, or kind of
A little darker.
that little darker. I would love to have seen the because if you fly up close, there's individual stones in there,
Yeah.
and I would have loved to have seen them a little bit more pronounced. That's it.
I think it's just, is it a, he just used like a, I said, I'm sure he did a bulkhead and maybe just changed the
I think
material
it's a
or,
bulkhead with a material change of material on it is
yeah.
what I think it is. Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, you could just darken that up a little bit. You get to see a little bit more of the texture on it. That's it.
Yep.
But great job, great course, ton of fun. Had a blast playing it. Great addition. Congrats on the MPOW, man. That was a great course.
Cool. Then Jasper.
Jasper, let's go to Canada and go play some mountain courses.
I was thinking when I saw this, I was thinking Jasper. Isn't that the friendly ghost? No, that's Casper.
That's Casper, the friendly ghost. That's not Jasper.
Oh my God.
Well, go back real quick. I want to check one more because I think, yeah, another course. It's interesting. Not only is our theme, not completely, but is our theme not just mountain courses this week, it's shorter courses too. Because again, 6,600 is the length on this one. This one has some really good altitude on it as well. Some altitude, not a ton, not as much as Shadow Mountain. But
it's not the length of the course that matters. It's the width of the fairways.
It's the width of the fairways. You want to be able to, yeah, it's that exactly. So, another really good fun course. Okay, let's go. First thing to me again, first picture.
Guess what? I'm getting a beer.
Markers.
Keep talking.
You go get a beer. Custom tee markers, custom signs. We'll show you that in a second. It is such a great looking course. I love the mountain. He and I were talking about this. I love the mountain assets that he used. They're different than some of the nature manufacturer mountains.
Yeah, I didn't recognize that mountain. Where did that
Yeah,
come from?
it's a different. I asked him. He's going to let us know which one it is.
He's
I don't
keeping
remember.
secrets.
He is, but it's an asset from the asset store they got. It's a mountain pack
Oh,
that
it's
he found in the
Unity.
asset
Did he have
store.
to
Yeah.
backport it?
I don't know. I don't know what he did. He just told me he found a nice different mountain pack, had some snow on it, and he said it looked really good. So, and I agree, it looked great.
Yeah, it does look good.
Again, good colors. We'll talk a little bit. Again, if there's anything to critique, I don't love. I think the billboard color of the trees on the mountain
Yeah,
background
I
are a
put stuff
little
in
too
about that.
olive.
Yeah, they are a little olive. I would have liked to see just a tad more green in those.
A little more and a little maybe a little darker, but that's okay. It's all pretty minor stuff.
Yeah,
But let's go forward because there's some really amazing detail.
that's
First
pretty
off,
cool.
yeah, the
It
whole
looks like it
sign.
reminds me of the signs like when you're headed into the state park, you
Yeah,
know?
it does. This whole thing
And
feels like keep
the,
that thought.
yeah, the only thing it's missing is a little like only you can prevent forest fires down in the
Yeah,
little.
but keep that thought because there's some other things you're going to see as we go through these images here that give you that sense of like I'm now on a campsite. You know what I mean? Or a lot. You know, it's a
Yeah,
lodge,
so
so it
it's
feels
like
like
not only like do we have the mountain courses this week, but it's like the rustic mountain courses,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, and that this one, he actually, if you could look closely, that is
Is the map of the
the
hole.
map of the hole from the mini map.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
so nicely done.
Yeah, so you can
Love the
see it.
rocks.
Yeah, so yep, it
There
is
it
right
goes.
there.
It's just turned sideways. Yep,
Yep, cool.
yep, really well done. And then I love the rocks. The rocks look so natural. It just looks like somebody sat there and chiseled away that
Yeah,
logo out of the rock.
looks like two bears having foreplay.
Because it's two bears having foreplay.
Oh, okay.
It is Jasper Park.
All right.
That's what you do.
Hey, hey, Babu, Babu, hey,
What
come,
happens is
come here, Babu.
the guys playing golf see those logos for 18 holes. When they get the 19th hole, you know.
Oh boy, here we go. All right,
And the next slide.
okay,
I
that's
again thought
cool. Yeah,
cool. I thought the mountain range with the reflection in the water and the water color was great. Almost feel like the sun is getting lower in the day, and it's just
so
it's just
he
great.
had the same problem I had at Glacier Golf, which is you can't get those mountains to reflect off the water. There's
Yeah.
something with reflection probes, they only take a certain distance away. No matter what
Hmm.
I did, I could not get the mountains to reflect off the water.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
only we pay attention to that stuff, right?
No, yeah, no one else really notices that, and
No.
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but like even the little A-frame house way out there on the in the corner in the point, you see the little A-frame house right
Yeah.
out there in the middle,
Yep.
like it feels like I'm at Jasper
Now, it
Lodge,
must
you
have
know.
been, now here, I don't think the billboards look as,
I don't either,
like, they're pretty close. Well, if you look at this tree and they're
and
still
those
a
trees, that's what
little
it is.
olive, but they look pretty darn good here, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep. And then so going back to that theme of I'm now like I feel like I've parked my car, I'm with my buds, and we're staying in a cabin at Jasper Lodge, right? And then you've got it's either that or it could be
Love is in
Crystal.
the air with the bears.
It could be Crystal Lake, which is where Texas Chainsaw
Yeah,
Massacre happened.
I
I
was
don't
gonna
know.
say this looks like the area that Dirty Dancing, like they all went, like they had
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, like yeah, yep. Yeah, it does. It feels like I mean, all you're missing are some like canoes out in the
yeah,
water.
yeah,
A guy with a mask and a chainsaw chasing people into that kind of stuff. That's all you're missing.
couple bears getting it on in the parking lot.
Couple bears getting it on. Yep, exactly.
So this is
Here
what
are
I
the
was, yeah, pointing out earlier,
yeah,
which is just that I don't know. I'm torn on this, and we had to
yeah,
find something. Now, the one thing I did notice that was on this hole, so that's 373 out. I think those were billboards out there, so I would have just pushed the billboards, his rendering out just a tad to get like that
yep,
second LOD in, and you might not have noticed. I bet if he had done that, it would have been more like this picture. So in this
yep.
one, I'm getting the transition from LOD 1 or LOD
Lot
0.
one, lot
This
zero to
is
lot
LOD
one.
2 out here, which blends nicely into out here. On this one, I'm not getting that. I'm
You're
getting
getting
billboards
one,
right here.
and
Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
yep,
So
yep.
maybe just push
Agreed.
those out. Anyway,
But
we got to pick
great
on something,
course.
right? Because otherwise, what do we do? Do we just give everyone high fives and tell everyone they're great?
Way to go! Yay!
Yeah,
Nice,
and
nice
they are.
job.
Good job.
Nah, it was a great course. It was a ton of fun to play. I
Yeah,
love this format of ours where we play a lot more in the sim than just fly through, and played all of these. Every course that came out this week, we didn't play together, but I played every single
yeah.
course in
I
the
had a
sim
little
this week.
snafu.
So
I did
you had a little snap.
play. Is this the
Most of
course?
them.
Oh, I played this course in the sim.
Well, why don't you talk about this course? Then I'm going to pour myself a drink.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the course. So I had the guys over Thursday night when I got the computer back together, and we played this course, which is one of the reasons I like to play it is because I like to play courses that we get into a little bit of trouble. Because in sim golf, when you're playing with a bunch of people, if a course is too easy, it's like doubly easily because if you yeah, you can hit it, you can just continue to hit the ball where it's at.
Yeah,
This one definitely required a little bit of strategery, a little bit of
a little bit
planning as you
more.
play.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep,
So first hole, what I like caught me on this one is you're hitting off this tee box, which is just like this retaining wall around it, up in the air, and you just get to let it loose on the first hole, right?
yep.
Just kick it out there. This course had beautiful colors to it. Had like a little dried out look, but not overly aggressive. And I'll show you some pictures of the sat shader on it.
Yeah, I thought his sat shader was one of the. This is one of the better sat shaders we've seen in a
one of
while. I
the
mean,
one
sat
of the
shaders are good, but this
better
is.
like dried out looking
Yep,
set, like yeah, towards the end of summer, just perfect. Yeah, loved it. The one thing I did, and this is not Pac-Man's fault, when I loaded this up, I immediately went in. His default lighting on here was set to like I think like 5 o'clock, which no matter if you're set at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, there's no way you're getting a blue sky. It's
correct.
going to be gray. So
Yep,
just be aware that like any course, when you load it up, check what time it is. The only way you're going to get blue skies if you hit it between like 10 and 2. So just be
correct.
aware of that. And maybe he was going for like the kind of like the hazy summer day with overcast skies. I don't
Yep,
know. So here, sat shader. This looks
great
like
sat shader.
yeah, it looks like a picture, right?
Yeah,
I mean, from here, like everything, right, it just looks like an oil painting. Great. And this has to be, maybe he got lucky with this course and just had great satellite imagery. I don't think, I'd be curious to tell Pac-Man, I don't think this is fabricated. Maybe just got lucky and had a great sat shader on this one, but it looks really good.
he
Doing
does a
sat,
lot of work on his sat. He and I have had a couple conversations. He does a lot of work on his sat shader.
yeah,
And listen, I think Pac-Man's sat shading skills are so good. He could take a bad sat shade and make it look this good. Um, so I think he's just really nailed his sat shader most all of his stuff.
yeah, yeah. And this is obvious. I assume this, it was a Patreon course, but I assume
You know
this
what
is
I
a
love about this
premium build.
too is if this screenshot in this view though, going back to like the last course we were just looking at, the Jasper course, the transition of the trees all the way out to the top of the hill is seamless.
Yeah,
Like it looks really, the colors are great. The LODs matte, they just look, it
yeah.
blends really nicely. I think it looks so good.
Well, in addition to that, I didn't get a picture of it, but even like when you zoom in and you get closer and closer to the ground, when the 3DG starts to kick in, it is
Yeah,
seamless too because it
it's
blends
seamless as well.
perfectly in with the SAT. He obviously did SAT 3DG as well.
Yep, looks great.
Um, and then grasses, Pac-Man. I always say this when I want to grow up, I want to do grasses like Pac-Man.
I know.
Um,
I
and
wish I knew how he got it so thick. Maybe there's just not a lot of grasses, but like so thick and not have performance issues.
Well, I think it is thick, but also I think depending on like one thing I always struggle with is when I'm like building my courses, I gotta stop looking at it from up above.
Yeah,
I'm
true. You
always
gotta
working
look
up
at it
above
from.
and you look at it from,
Yeah,
and that's where I
yeah.
took this picture from. I
Great
think if
point.
I did go up and I look down, I think you would see that there are
You see
gaps in
some.
there, but the golfer really never sees that. You see it in flyovers a little bit. But what I really like here, and I think I got to do a little bit more, is when I'm browsing through my grasses and I'm deciding what to use, and I see something that's ugly and a weed, throw it in there.
Throw it in there.
It
You're
doesn't
right.
have to be that many of them. I mean, you see here one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, maybe nine in this whole picture. but it's enough, I think, to give it a realistic touch to it.
You think
You know?
he dropped that in a biome, or you think he hadn't planned those?
No, I bet he dropped it in a biome. He's
Yeah.
efficient.
Okay.
He's efficient.
Yeah.
He's getting paid. He's not getting paid by the hour, right? He's getting paid by the
Yeah.
course.
Fair. Fair.
Get in there, add a little noise to it, and then change the density a little bit to get it where he wants. Yeah, I
Yep.
can imagine he's
Yep.
hand planning that. Um,
Oh, it's
but
so good.
yeah, great job. Love the
Great
course.
job. Great course. A lot of fun.
Yep.
Nice job, Pac-Man.
And then we got Shadow Mountain.
Another mountain course. Shadow
Another.
Mountain.
It's even called Mountain, right?
It's even called mountain. We know it's a mountain course. You know what? Because it says it in the name.
And we had to give it a must play of the week because right in the description is a must play.
It's a must play.
Yeah.
So if you put that in your description, it's a must play.
Yeah. Now, elevation wise, this is pretty insane. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is the courses you want to play right here. So
I love.
27.99.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Lots of elevation off the tees. And I'm going to be honest. So when earlier in the week when my sim was down, I moused through this on my PC and I went to the first hole and I wasn't like in my mind, I was like, I just thought the grass over here, there was just too
Me
much of
too.
this like
Too bright. I thought it was
too
like it's
bright.
too wispy, bright, kind of like it didn't look right to me.
Yes. And so then today I last night the sim got put together last night. So I started playing courses again tonight and I decided to look this up online.
Yep.
And whoops, before we get to those
Oh,
pictures, and I changed my mind. So bottom line is, I went back in here and I gave it another shot,
yep.
and it grew on me, and now I really like the course.
Yep.
So he's got custom tee markers. Now he decided to not point them to the golfer, which is, there's
Perfectly okay.
it's a religious debate, right? I prefer to point them to the golfer so that, hey, let them see it. Otherwise, do they not know what they are? But whatever, okay. But
Whatever. All good.
cool. So we have now this bear is single and hasn't got on Tinder, so he's not hooking up like the other bear at the at Jasper.
At Jasper,
So
yeah.
I'm just saying he needs to get on bear Tinder so he can have some bear foreplay.
Well, his mates on the other side of the tee box, it sucks. They can't
Oh
walk,
yeah, yeah. They're constantly being bear blocked by the golfer in between them. Right?
Love the the hole markers. The hole
Yeah,
markers
pretty cool.
are great. Yeah,
So,
really
and
cool.
yeah, instead of the map, they just named every hole. So we got Carlton. So when you go up to this hole, you have to go up there and you have to do like the dance.
You have to do the Carlton. I don't
Yeah.
even know how to do the Carlton, but you have to do the Carlton.
Yeah, with the big arm swings and the stupid legs, out. Um, and then number 2, showcase. So every hole has its own name. Pretty cool. The rocks are pretty cool. Great job.
Yep.
Now,
Now,
this is the real course. This is actually a picture of the real course, and those grasses are pretty darn bright.
they are. They're bright. They're light. They're wispy. My complaint was also, and I think we may have a picture of it, was like, well, okay, I get that the grasses are light, but the base where the grasses are growing from is bright green. Like it's really bright. It didn't look right to me. No, it's exactly right because then there's a
Yeah.
picture from the course we looked at and it matched exactly. So this is the picture from the course. There you
Yeah.
go. You can
Even
see that
like
those
way out here, that's really bright,
really
looking for
bright.
out.
Yeah.
Now that could be, I
So
guess that's not a bunker. Is that a bunker?
no, I think that's all
Either way,
grass.
I mean, the grass, even the foreground here is pretty bright. The only thing I think I maybe would have tried
Mm.
is,
Mm.
is, I don't know, I'm still torn. Could he made of the grass, no, thinner? I don't know. I'm still,
Nah.
okay.
I like it. I like it. I've decided for me, my initial impression on that was wrong. I think he's done a
I agree.
pretty damn good job making it accurate in the sim. And I think like this hole is gorgeous. Mountains in the background, particle clouds above the mountains. By the way, I do a lot of that, so I'm glad to see others doing it as
What
well.
asset is the particle clouds from? Because I'm
Nature Manufacturer, the mountain asset
okay.
has particle
I gotta
clouds.
find
Now,
those. Yeah.
I will give you a little bit of tweak. You have to tweak the settings. You see how his clouds are a little gray
Yep.
versus white. Okay. And that's okay. It looks fine. In certain rigs, certain graphics cards, the gray can become dark gray, almost like I had an issue at Bear Dance the first time I put them in. People were saying, why are there forest fires in the mountains? Because the clouds look like like smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a little tweaking of the asset you've got to do to make them stay that lightweight, white, wispy cloud color. His look just fine, so
Okay.
he might have tweaked them a little bit.
All right.
I think it's great. I love this hole.
Yeah, and this was another thing is like I went through and I started getting to actually left the HUD out on purpose because I want to show the picturesque
Yeah,
here and not be
yeah,
have the instrumentation of GS Pro blocking it. But there were like all of a sudden you start getting through it. I'm like, wow, some of these holes are really beautiful. So this was like the first one I just went, wow, this is really good looking,
yep,
awesome. The mountain in the
yep,
background, the colors here, it's unique, it's rememberable. I'll not forget this course anytime soon. And then there were other ones, right?
yep,
So this is just like a unique hole as well. This hole, the mountains in the background again, the grass poking up. And then I think is this yes, this is 18, where this is like sanctuary number one, except this is 18 instead, where you're hitting 419 and down almost 50 yards. So pretty
yep,
cool. Lots of fun.
yep,
And on top of that, there's water down there, a little danger to make your butt clench a little bit. Now, the way I hit the ball, I'm 100% going in that water because I can't hit it left. I'm always going right.
always going right.
So great course.
Really well done.
Glad I
Nice
changed my mind on this.
detail.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too. A lot of great detail. I'm glad. Again, we don't rule like we don't ever. I shouldn't say ever. There can be it has to be certain conditions, but like where you're like load up the first hole, you're like, no way. That rarely happens. Even if the first impression is kind of like, well,
yeah,
we keep playing, we keep going through it, and then we'll go do some research like we did on this one and be like, wow, it actually matches pretty damn exactly. So,
yeah,
I think it was great. I love this course.
yeah. I flew up to get the bridge because you can just get glimpses of the bridge through the trees, so you
Yep.
know it's there when you're playing. So you don't really see the exposed terrain and the
Yeah.
stuff here. It looks better on the golf course, but I just had to get up in the air to like make aware that it's there. So nice job on the because I'm sure that bridge is like I think actually I look when we looked up this course there were pictures of that bridge, so that's actually very
Yep.
famous I think on the course as well.
Yep.
And they had
Yep.
logs strewn around to give it again
Rocks. Yeah.
mountain rustic course theme for the week, right?
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
And okay, so critique. One is push your billboards out a little bit more. So
Yep.
there was one, I think, flyover where I did notice that the billboards were like stacking out. You can push those billboards out far. They do not tax GPU. Billboards are like nothing.
Or
So
nothing.
you could plant those up on the top of this mountain and it doesn't matter. So, just don't be afraid to push those out. Also, I forgot I went and there was I thought the navigation script was fixed, but he had like a bus and like
It was stuck. I didn't notice.
they were stuck. So I don't maybe
Uh,
that's still not fixed. That's certainly not a
I don't
flaw of
know.
his force, but
I didn't notice it when I played through it. So,
yeah, I just saw a truck that was just sitting in the middle of the road and a bus sitting in the middle of the
hmm,
road not moving. I wonder if that's still broken. And then you and I are kind of back and forth on this. I kind of felt like with the new Blender tools and the things that we can do, should bunkers still look like this when they're that steep, or should there be like a steeper face on them? Like, I am.
I'm torn because again we had this conversation in pre-show and I've been paying a lot of attention to bunkers lately in real world, like playing a lot of golf and playing a lot of bunkers, and I do see bunkers that are sloped up and they have
They have sand on them.
sand going up. Yeah, now there's not as much sand on the side as there is down below, but like there's sand for sure. Um,
Now, do you
I
enable? I
think
feel like he doesn't have slope shader enabled here.
I don't either. I think what's missing is some slope shader. I think the issue, and it's not an issue because I don't want to critique the tools because the tools are so good and they've gotten so good. But sometimes they're almost too perfect. Like that lip, to me, that lip is too perfect on the bunker. It's too evenly perfect all the way around, right? That bunker, people are walking in and out. That edge that's right down there as that finger that comes down in, that lip is gone. Like that thing needs like I wish our tools could randomly make if we wanted it to, right? Randomly make the lips different heights
Yeah. Well,
You know,
that's
you know what
what
I'm
like
saying?
CESM golf, his like when he does his bunkers, they kind of like get randomized like that. But um, I you can do that in Blender pretty easily,
Yeah,
honestly.
but some of the and some of the pictures that Pud Run and CE Sim Golf have been posting on the course they're building together, Prairie
Dunes,
View, I think
yeah,
it is, Prairie Dunes. Um, they're gorgeous, but you've got to go to each and every individual bunker and do it
yeah.
manually. There's no
And
automated
I don't
way.
understand. Like I did all the Kapalua bunkers. They only took me like 10 or 15 minutes each. So I maybe I got to do a bunker tutorial because I don't know what they're
Yeah,
doing.
maybe.
CE Semigolf says it takes an hour a bunker, and I'm just like, I don't know how it takes an hour a
No, I mean,
bunker.
the course that I'm doing right now is like 42 bunkers on it. There's no way I'm spending an hour a bunker on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
Um,
I could. I mean,
so I don't know. I thought I had a progress down. We'll see. I gotta show you my bunkers in Kapalua and make sure they're right though.
yeah, I want to see the bunkers, and maybe a bunker tutorial video would be good to see how you're
Yeah.
doing it. And I've gone into Blender and I've tweaked with the vertices and the edges and gotten it looking really good and said, "Hey, I like the way this looks." And then I was like, "Wow, that was a lot of work for one bunker." And now I have,
Yeah. I have to
72 more.
watch CE Sim Golf's new videos and see what he's
Yeah,
doing because maybe
his videos
those,
are great.
yeah, those are really good. I have to see what he's doing. And maybe between what I've been doing, it's sometimes I like to do things on my own before I watch, and I did this on purpose. I was like, I want to watch, but I want to go out and do my own thing because if I watch his, I'm going to do what he did,
Yep,
instead of probably
do
experimenting a
it
little bit more, right?
for
Now,
sure.
if I go back and watch his now, I can say, oh, that's a better way, or something my way might be better. Maybe I could let him know and speed him
Well,
up.
I wonder if the magician could put a randomize button in the Blunker tool. So you set your lip. So I want my lip to be a certain depth, right? And then there's a randomize. I don't know if it's a percentage or there's a randomize number that then when you hit apply to the bunker, it will then take what you originally set,
Yeah.
but then randomize the depth or the height or the. I mean, I
Of
don't
the
know. I
lip, you
mean,
mean?
of the lip, yeah, of the
Yeah.
lip itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's the magician, so who knows? He'll
Yeah,
pull
but
that shit
yeah,
out of his
yeah.
hat and
Well,
he'll,
yeah. So
and
there,
by the
there's our
way,
there's our
he's
feature
so
request.
good.
That's our feature request of the week, right? Which is the
There's our
randomized
feature
bunker.
request.
So
Well, and
like,
he's so good because he's like gonna like won't hurt anything about it. The next thing you know, he'll do a post and be like,
yeah,
he'll be like to a post, "Hey guys, I was just messing around and here's a randomized button on the bunker. Let's see. Tell me what you think. It'll be amazing." Like
yeah.
he does this, he pulls this stuff out of his ass and it's so good.
I feel like he's taking a much needed break.
I agree. I think they all should be taking a much needed break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I think DPR has been a little quiet recently, and
Yeah,
Sting just moved. I think he's still
yeah.
digging out. Well, I think he's coming out.
I
And
played I played 18 with Sting and Justin and Pac-Man and I in the core. It was so much fun playing with Sting. Boy, that man could hit the ball. So it was a lot of fun.
I would love, man, if there was any way that we could get John, Sting, and DPR to play around with us,
It'd be
like
so much
that'd be
fun.
so
Oh,
much
I'd
fun.
love to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
It's just the time difference, and those guys are just, I mean, they all have careers. You got a farmer, you got an oral surgeon, and a
Yep,
financial, Sting's what, financial analyst, financial advisor. He's,
yep,
um, yeah.
yep. It'd be a lot of fun
It's
to
hard
play
enough for
that.
us to find an hour or two together. Imagine trying to put those guys. So with that being said, they're taking a break, but I think it's time that they get back to work because our feature request of the week is Unreal Engine design tools.
He did that just to
He's,
piss Donna.
I was expecting him to jump through the door here and smack me in the head.
John is sleeping right now. It's in the middle of the night, and he literally
Just
just
woke
woke
up.
up and he punched his computer screen. He doesn't know why, but he punched his computer screen. He's going back to bed.
Yeah, I guess we didn't even talk about that. Did you see the discussion on Discord? There was somebody who was talking about Unreal, and John jumped in and and the guy, it was a little bit of about, oh, Unreal looks really good, but basically the discussion was, yeah, but it's so hard to use. One of the biggest powers of GS Pro right now, basically OPCD, is that anybody, and I use
Yeah,
that loosely, can build, right?
yeah,
a little bit of desire, a little bit of patience. But I think Unreal is like it's really a gaming, like if you want to call it engineer, someone who really knows their shit uses Unreal, right? And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
from my understanding, it's the people that even know their shit have a hard time with it. So
yeah. I don't know, and John, we're just
and
completely
then
kidding with you. We don't want Unreal
yeah,
tools. We
yeah,
want V5 tools.
yeah, and then there's the whole thing about physics, and then the fact that basically you're starting from scratch to go to Unreal anyway, and GS Pro is great the way it is anyway. So
Well, you and I had this conversation. I guess it's true. Like since VS Pro has been deprecated, we if and when we move to a newer version of Unity, we don't know if GS Pro will work. Is there a replacement for GS Pro in the
VS
newer
Pro,
version of
VS Pro, you're
Unity?
talking about VS Pro.
VS Pro.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
said
VS Pro.
you were
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
GS
yeah.
Pro. Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry, VS Pro. If and when we move to a newer version of Unity, VS Pro can't come with, and it's been deprecated. So, is there a replacement for VS Pro in newer? We don't know. It's an interesting
And
thing
there might
to
be
look
one
at.
that none of us have really looked at because we don't
Yeah.
use newer Unity, so why would we ever look, right?
Yep.
Now, I've seen posts from Sting that they're looking at something. They've got a potential, maybe a potential
Oh, cool.
solution. They're
Cool.
hinting like that, but I don't know.
Okay, let's go to the Facebook post of the week. They're my favorite.
Oh, okay. All right. So, we skipped right into the first one here. So,
So I grabbed this one because I thought this was hysterical. I don't know why. I just thought it was hysterical. Does anyone's Patreon feature courses in East Central? And this you can put East Central Pennsylvania. Is there a list or some sort of reference to a designer course? East Central. I don't want South Central. I don't want North. I want East Central. No, not too far east. Okay. No.
well,
I want Lincoln. No. Oh, hold on. Let me pull my Pennsylvania map up. I'm actually looking. I want courses within an 18-mile radius around the center point of East Central.
I know. Well, and then there's on top of that, like, yeah, so like some Patreon guy's gonna like say, my niche market is I'm gonna market towards
East
people that
Central.
wants East Central Pennsylvania courses.
I wanted to reply
So,
in here and say, but I want East
but
Central
but
Kansas.
this is such a Pennsylvania thing. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Is it?
Like we're so freaking weird. Like, we're the only state that calls out our state by the abbreviation. We say, "Oh, where are you from?" PA. I'm from Harrisburg, PA. We're the only
PA.
state that does that. So we have East Central PA, we have South Central PA, we have North. There's actually North Central PA.
It's
So
not that big of a state.
it is actually pretty. Actually, well, I mean, it isn't that big geographically. You're right, but it feels like it's culturally very different. Like you got Pittsburgh, which is the
Oh,
Yins soda
I
pop
believe that,
people. You've got
but from a
Philly.
but
Yes,
from a
I agree.
geographic standpoint, the Texas guys are looking at
Oh,
you and laughing, saying you
I
don't fit in the
totally
Houston city
agree.
limits.
I totally agree with you. Yes, that this is
Yeah.
funny. I am not
But
making an excuse. This
I
makes
saw this
yes,
and I was like
which
East Central.
which is Mashy leads me into my Facebook
Okay,
posts
you go. Yeah.
because you said this. I started noticing a trend. Someone a while ago started, and I think we're just seeing the beginning of a new Facebook post thing where are there any Patreon builders for some Michigan courses? Are there
I
anyone
saw
in
that one.
Tennessee? So I think
Tennessee.
this is just the beginning of people just like,
I-
well, I'm from
Maybe
South Dakota. Where are my courses at?
well,
You know?
here's the deal. Maybe what's happening is maybe it's a normal evolution. Not all, but a lot of the big name courses either are in GS Pro or not, and we know why. So now it's like, let me go. Now is okay. I know the big ones are there. Are my local ones there? So I live in Tennessee. I live in East Central PA.
And maybe,
So
and this is like you and I maybe becoming ignorant on how big GS Pro is getting now. Is it getting
maybe,
so
yeah.
big that I could start building Eastern Pennsylvania courses and make a living? I
And
mean,
if you do, drop a link. And if you have any input on that, drop a link.
I should have replied to the guy for the East. So it's like, no, but I do have some Central Pennsylvania courses.
I wish he had said you slide into my DMs with a link.
That's great. That's great. Yeah,
Ay,
I'm gonna
caramba.
give this guy some input.
You
Input.
should. He's looking for input.
He's looking
So
for input.
anytime somebody on Facebook wants input, it's there. It's there. It's readily there for you.
But wait, we're not done. There's more.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm trying to remember which one's next. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I forgot. So this is a comment. So this guy, did you see this? This is what I was referencing earlier. So this guy's, this was a whole other part, but the guy said, hey, if you don't want to know about Patreon, do a search for Payman. So Pac-Man's the Payman now. I love it.
First off, I'm really glad that he actually said do a search, because no one in Facebook ever searches.
No,
there's a whole.
And they're going to do a search and they're going to come up with nothing.
Nothing, because they're searching on the wrong thing.
Actually, I think Payman is a pimp.
All I know is going forward, he is Payman.
Yes, 100%.
He has to change his name in Discord to Payman now. I'm only
even
refer to
Pac-Man. Even if just do it temporarily, just please change your name to Payman.
Please change your name.
Change your name to Payman and put a big $sign as your like a little profile thing.
And in your description, say that you focus on East Central PA courses.
Yes.
I'm Payman, and I make a living doing East Central PA.
You can even do like you're just let you know the area code 717.
Do you have more after this, or is my slide next?
Oh, I have another one.
Okay.
Which was this is a two-part one. I don't know if you saw this or not. So this guy posted. Oh no, sorry. I got three more. This is a good one. This is actually Discord, which was just guys a screenshot of his MacBook Air. You know,
the only thing missing is his credit card number, his email address, his phone number.
But I mean, come on. We get into the thing like just go to the website and find out. It's very clear in the website you can only use a Windows and just.
I mean, if this is Discord, then he is savvy enough to actually have joined a Discord group. Come on, like go to the website.
You can definitely go to a website and you can see the minimum requirements are Windows. Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the good one. This is to me. Hey, SkyTrack by itself is working great. SkyTrack on GS Pro keeps drawing shots, but after a few shots, but was there an update to the interface? It was working good up until a couple weeks ago. Then he posts another Facebook post. Another Facebook post. Oh, add to my question. Mine is 1.8. That's not a comment. That's a whole new post. Oh shoot, I didn't X out his name. Oh well, everyone knows who's Brian Cummings now.
Sorry, Brian Cummings.
Sorry, Brian. So yeah, I mean, the people don't even know how to comment on their own posts or edit their own posts.
There was another one that I thought this is different than one. This is good. This is different than one I saw though. The one that I saw, it was Mevo, and I should have grabbed it. Now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't grab it. It was very similar though. It was a Mevo player saying that all of a sudden for the last few weeks his chips haven't been working, and somebody else replied in and said, well, I have a Mevo, my chips have never really worked well. And the guy who originally posted replied and said, yeah, mine either. Well, you said it was working fine except for a couple weeks ago, and now you're saying it's never worked well. What is it? So it's
oh god.
Okay. I have added one more thing in that you know nothing about.
Okay.
Are you ready to cue up the game show music?
Oh boy.
Because we have a game to play.
Oh, we do?
We do.
Oh boy, this is fantastic. I can't wait. Now, what should I do with our video?
You can kind of put it up to the upper right corner. I think it'll be fine.
Okay. Should I make it bigger or smaller? Is that good?
Maybe a little small. Maybe a little smaller. Yeah, I think that's probably good right there.
Okay.
So I have come up with a new game.
Nice. I love
games.
That
I think you're gonna enjoy this one. So this time I get to play host. I'm gonna be Pat Sajak.
Okay.
And you're gonna be the gullible contestant.
Oh, I wanted to be Vanna White.
No. Vanna's. You're too pretty for Vanna White.
This day and age, we should be able to identify with any game show host we want.
Okay, you're Vanna White. You're Vanna, but you're contestant. All right.
Let me go put my heels on.
Then are you ready?
Yeah.
The name of the game is.
Tell me when to click.
Click now.
Flushing
Is
Meadows.
this course as hard as Flushing Meadows? Flushing Meadows Pitch and Putt.
Which was like the first. If you weren't on the show, if you didn't listen to the show last week, that was a must play, and it came up as a 5-star difficulty.
It's right there.
It's the first one I've ever seen that has 5 stars. Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Ready?
Okay. Yep.
Click once.
Click once. Sanctuary.
Is Sanctuary as hard or not as Flushing Meadows?
Definitely
Yes or
not.
no?
I'm gonna say Sanctuary came up as like 2 stars.
Hit next. Ding,
Yes.
ding, ding. Sanctuary is
Yes.
not as hard as the Flushing Meadows Pitch and Putt.
You know, it's not
All right?
hard because the holes are only like 400 yards long, but like you have a drop of 40, so you can just hit like a 9-iron and make it there. You know.
That's not, you actually putt off the tee.
Yeah,
You know, and
exactly.
Okay, so you got 1 point. Good,
Yeah.
very good.
Nice.
You should do pretty well at this.
All
Okay,
right. Yeah.
click one more time.
Georgia
Golf Club.
I'm
Is
gonna
this
say
one as hard as or easier than Flushing Meadows Pitch and Putt?
easier. And I'm gonna say, let me guess here. I'm gonna say it's 3 stars.
Okay.
Now
Click.
I'll say Georgia. I'll say 4 stars. 4 stars.
4 stars. Click.
Oh, I should have went with my
3
gut.
stars.
Should have
You
went with
got
my
it.
gut. Damn it.
That
Damn it.
beautiful masterpiece by Tech Bud is only 3 stars.
Yeah,
I think the tour players would tell you that it's a little harder than the Flushing Meadows Pitch and Putt, but apparently it's
not.
only 3 stars.
Yes.
Okay, you're doing okay. You're one and kind of point. You didn't.
In defense, when you are playing Georgia Golf Club, you do not or you're not distracted by the guys arguing over a hot dog.
Correct. I agreed.
I mean, that adds 1 star.
That adds 1 star right
Yes.
there. Exactly. Okay. We're going to go to another course.
Ooh,
Let's
Texas
see how well
Star.
you played attention today.
Oh,
to
man.
the show we are in right now.
Yeah. I'm going to say Texas Star is definitely easier.
Okay.
But I'm going to say it's only 2 stars.
Okay. Ready?
Oh!
Texas Star is 5 stars. It's as hard as the Flushing Meadows Pitch and Putt.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't know that. You learn something new every day.
There we go. All right. So now you're 1 for 3 so far. So, all right. Let's keep going.
Well, wait.
We
Okay.
got-
So I had to guess
1.5.
the stars too. I mean, I did
Well,
say
you're-
Georgia was easier.
You did Georgia. Okay. We'll
Yeah.
give you the Georgia and the Sanctuary. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go. There's only 3 more.
Ooh.
DPC Sodgrass, that piece of shit course that no one likes. It's a goat track.
I've never even heard of that, so I'm
I know.
not sure what I'm gonna even. I'm gonna say it's easier, but not by much. I'm gonna say it's 4 stars.
3 stars. But yes, it was easier. 3 stars.
Okay.
Nice. Very nice.
Texas Star.
Okay.
No kidding. 5 stars.
No kidding.
That still has
Texas
me
Star, 5
baffled.
stars.
Okay.
All right. The Club of 12 Oaks.
Oh man, that's.
Of course, really narrow. Hazards everywhere.
But the
trees
thing is, like,
everywhere.
I'm trying to think of like what John
This
uses.
is the
to
course
come
that
up-
Soupy said, as long as you hit it in the fairway and the green, there's no problem.
I'm gonna say that this one is
Easier or harder first?
well, it's not. It's
I
not
mean, not
hard.
harder.
It can't
Easier
be
as
harder.
hard.
I'm gonna say
It
it's.
can't be hard. As hard or
I'm gonna say it's easier because it's yeah this yeah I'm gonna say it's easier. And I guess star wise, I think this one's gonna surprise us. It's gonna be like 1 or 2. Let's see here. I'm gonna say 1. Let's go 1.
okay? Let's
Oh, 2.
For such a hard course, it's really not hard. It's
Yes.
harder at the pitch and putt than it
Yes.
is at 12 Oaks. All right, and our
I
final
hope-
ones.
I would think it'd be great someday if we were able to search by how difficult it is and these come up because people are gonna get so fucked.
I know they are. I know they're gonna pick up 12 Oaks and be like, "This thing's easy. It's only 2 stars."
Okay, so there's a.
All right, last
Oh
one.
no! Oh gosh, I bet this is. I could have bet it's as hard because it's probably something messed up with the algorithm where it's super short like that. I'm gonna say it's as hard. I bet it has to do with why those are so hard is because it's short and three stroke. Oh yeah, as hard, as hard.
And
Yes.
you're correct. Yes, it's as
So
hard.
obviously there's something messed up with the algorithm that if a course is really short, it messes it up.
So that's our game for tonight.
That's
You're
great.
very well.
Well
You have
done.
won a prize.
Well
Nicely.
done. Well done. That's some good stuff right there. I'm glad we like in pre-show. I was like, "Hey, you said you had to put something at the end." I said, "It's got to be better than my last post." That's all I'm saying. We got to end on a high
I,
note. Good job.
I think it was okay. Good. Thank you. I'm glad you liked that. So that was fun. I'm glad you liked that. All right. That's all we got.
Oh, that's
How about
it.
you, my friend? Anything else? That's it.
It's
That's
over.
the show.
It's over.
It's over. We'll come back next week.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and have a great week.
Have a great week. Bye, everybody.
Don't break your computer. See ya.
Yep. Don't
Bye.
break your computer.